right, good morning. This is the last day for dailies this week in the Konle Amzat studio. And that is me saying I welcome you to the Konle Amzat studio this morning. Of course, at Gidigbo 88.7 FM Ibadan. This is your ultimate newspaper review show where we get to talk about our great nation and also do in-depth analysis on how the stories, how they affect and concern us, or how they can affect and concern us. And even sometimes they've been affecting us and we do not know. That is why we have a maestro in the studio with us to do the analysis and explanation of all these things for us citizens of Nigeria. My name is Wuraola Yusuff and I'll be taking it from the front page of newspapers. This morning, as usual, I'll be starting from the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, where we have the story saying local councils must now account for our own actions. Local councils must now account for own actions. That one is coming from President Tinubu. To write us the story, a couple. The first one says, also amend constitution to get INEC conduct local government polls. That is coming from a particular ex-governor. Another one says, all institutions must be respected, says Professor Yatudu. Another one says, governors would review decision. That one is coming from Soludo. Still on the issue of local government funds, on the front page of the Punch newspaper right now, on page 2, federal government flaws governors as Supreme Court outlaws caretaker exco joint accounts. To write us the story, the first one is coming from the Supreme Court saying, preventing democratically elected administration in local government unconstitutional. Another one says, Tinubu, NLC, Noge, others hail judgment, ex-Ogun local government chair, Lord's president. Moving on from that, the front page of the Vanguard newspaper on the issue of local government. Yes, I'd like us to just pick that at once. On the front page of the Vanguard newspaper right here, this one is coming from governors saying, we have taken judgment in good faith. Alright then, the Nation newspaper has it that governors lose financial control over local government. The writer to the story in the front page of the Nation says, Supreme Court orders direct payment of council's allocation. Another one says, no funding for councils without elected officials. 479 out of 774 councils lose access to the federation account. All right, the federation account cash. Wow. Okay then, let us move back to the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper to talk about more stories aside the local government tussle, which has now been settled by the Supreme Court yesterday. Because right now, the state governments, they're not supposed to have any business with them concerning their finance. All right, now, ex-Prime Minister Maman remanded in correctional center. Page 12 of the Daily Trust newspaper has the details to that story. Akpabio Lawan clash over change to Senate plenary time. Governor Aliyu assents to law stripping Sultan of power to appoint district heads. Page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. 250,000 naira minimum wage unrealistic. Tinubu tells Labour. Alright, Kenya's president dismisses almost entire cabinet. Page 7 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Court refuses a bench warrant against Ganduji. Orders trial in absentia. That story is on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Catholic bishops, Ulama reject the Samoa agreement. We're still on this. Page 10 of the Daily Trust newspaper has the details to that story. Now to the front page of the Punch newspaper. After the issue of the local government funds are written there, we have the issue of the minimum wage. Tinubu Labour talks adjourned till next week. Page 20 of the Punch newspaper. Alright, the federal government IOCs agree on crude supply to Dangote, local refineries. Page 27. Public officials received a 721 billion naira bribe in 2023. That one is an MBS report on page 27 of the Punch newspaper. Ex-power minister collapses before trial, remanded in prison. That is on page 7, and he has been tried on the issue of the 33 billion naira fraud alleged against him. Alright, UK varsity reviews fees for Nigerian students facing expulsion. Page 7. PDP alleges contempt as Ayedatiwa appoints council caretakers. Alright. Alright. I mean, that will go hand in hand with the story of the local government that we'll be discussing later on. Now on page 4 of the Punch newspaper, this is a very sad one because we have this news saying Lagos Marwa operator hangs self over tricycle seizure. Right, let's move on from that to the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, where we have Cardoso saying we're suffering for Ways and Means loan. Page 20 of the Vanguard newspaper. Alright, still there, we're talking about the story of ex-power man. Yes, slumping in court. That one is there too. There is another one saying drug makers see clear timeline. Stable naira for 70% production in Nigeria. Page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. The Nation newspaper says Akpabio warns PSC, that is the Police Service Commission, IG Egbetoko, over police recruitment face-off. Page 6 of the Nation newspaper has a story. Coming from President Tinubu, he says, I am committed to a just, realistic wage. The talks with Labour leaders to reconvene next week. Page 27 of the Nation newspaper. And there is a picture attached to it. In this picture, we have the Labour leaders and the Minister for Labour. Yes, we have her there. And in the picture, it is only Mr. President that is smiling. The others are not. Alright, moving on. In Ibadan today, we are going to have the coronation of the 43rd Olubadan of Ibadan land. And yes, it is on the front page of the Nation newspaper saying, enter 43rd Olubadan Olakuleyin. The writer says, ancient city, Agog. Of course, we are all prepared to march straight to that place to witness the coronation of our Oba. Alright, ex-minister on 33.8 billion naira fraud trial collapses outside courtroom. Page 5 of the Nation newspaper. Alright, these stories alongside many more what we have to discuss this morning. Although time may not permit us, but then we'll touch up on the most serious ones. And of course, I have Maestro in the studio. In my mind, I'm expecting a drum roll. All right, good morning, Maestro. You're welcome.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm very well. How about you?
Great.
All right, now we have it. We have the judgment. Local government autonomy. Now they have the autonomy.
Not precisely. And I've seen some people saying that the local governments are now autonomous.
Are they not?
There is financial autonomy.
Yes. Is that not the biggest one?
It is critical. I know. But we just have to clarify. Because, I've been seeing that since yesterday. Now they are autonomous. No, they're not.
Wow.
But where it matters most, what interests, the forces against that autonomy most is what's been resolved now. That's the financial autonomy, is now there. So where we go from here is what we begin to face now. But I think it's a great day for people like me and a lot of other people who have been advocating restructuring of one form or the other. So, and I've said it, you might not have restructuring in one fell swoop. You might have restructuring happen in components here
bits
and
by
there.
bits.
Yes, in bits, critical bits, that is. And this one is very key. You could only imagine, just imagine, the Constitution saying this is how this thing is supposed to be. And then the forces benefiting from that distortion have been dead set against it. And from administration to administration, we talk about corruption. And we talk about local government funds. And now it's all done. But there's work to do.
Where do we go from here?
There's work to do. Now you see, this is part of, when they call governors emperors, this is a key part of the reason they're called emperors. Because they not only preside over 26.72% state funds, they also preside over the 20.60 local government funds. Now, financially, this takes them close to the federal government, which takes 52 point something percent, which they shouldn't be that close. I mean, I'm talking about the intentions of the Constitution now. It's not like... So this gives them a lot of powers, which the Constitution did not envisage. The people who wrote whatever our Constitution is didn't envisage that. So they developed so much muscle and then distorted the process. Now you're going to have the local governments now functioning. And when people begin to dream of, something from heaven, no, it's not going to start like that. So we better tell one another the truth now, so that next week somebody will not come and say, but you guys said this local government...
and now they have their money.
Because it doesn't work like that. Now we have to work at this local government thing now. This autonomy, financial autonomy, has to be worked at. Because right now, if you still have the CX, they are still going to be doing the same thing. People are going to be appointing people practically and be calling it elections. And those are not elections. Now, I'm conceding that the National Assembly should come up with, a law which would allow INEC, to handle local government elections. Let's concede that. Because we don't like thinking outside of the box and being creative. And so we're going to waste time if we begin to look at the ideas that we have concerning elections in local governments. So let INEC take it over. And what you are going to start seeing, you'll have, this thing is going to change. You will have PDP in this local government. You have APC in this one. You have Labour Party in that one. People are going to be more expressive. The votes will become, a little bit more potent. There's going to be rigging, no doubt. But we will be contending with the rigging as we are contending with the rigging of governorship elections and that of, the presidential election. I don't know if anybody could come out, beat, your chest, say, we don't have rigging in this particular set of elections. So we only cope with the measure of rigging. So let's cope with that of the local government too. There was no election with CX. So let's forget about that. We can't call that election. But if INEC will come in with all its own imperfections, we will meet somewhere along the line and then be able to bring... I could just go and say, okay, I want to be a ward councillor and go and contest as ward councillor. And, I know what is going on. I'm not going to be a lame duck somewhere, expecting where the funds to perform will come from. But you know what has come in and you know what you want to do at your local government. And these local governments will be run by people who belong to those local governments. So I think it's a good thing. Yesterday was a great day.
I mean,
it was a great day, and I think we should make the most of it. Look at people waking up from any side of their beds and simply, sacking entire local governments just like that. Just sacking, and then you just appoint people to be caretaker committee just like that. And you don't even know the weight of what you're doing. You don't reckon with it. You're sacking entire local governments of a state And that's the life of human beings. So we can now have fresh activism. The implications are many. And I know, I've seen people saying, oh, this is wrong. The Constitution did not envisage paying local governments directly.
Exactly.
It was supposed to be paid into the joint accounts. That's what the Constitution said. So did the Constitution say local government, properly constituted local governments or not? So you want to close your eyes to the fact that they are not properly constituted, that you appointed caretaker committee, or that you simply, the election was a ruse. You don't want us to face all those realities. It's just the reality that it should go. And then when the Constitution says it should go into joint account, did it say that the state governments should spend it?
Or be the one to start giving it to them?
Did they even say the state governments should touch that which belongs to the local governments? So it's our people don't get tired. That's just the point. After Supreme Court, there's only Heaven's Court.
All right, then I want to believe that's actually the mentality of Nigerians when they say in one place there is always seniors. Well, I don't think that is happening between the federal government and the state government. Is that happening? The way it's happening between the local government and state government?
It's not happening because the federal government is clearly distinct and given superior roles according to the Constitution. And so that's where we talk about the lists, the three lists. Yes, the exclusive, concurrent, residual, and all these things. And the federal government also has a clear lion's share. The Constitution did not say, its account should be joint with anyone. So it's not actually comparable. There are two different things.
All right, then. Let us go to the part of the governors, because according to Soludo, he is saying we have taken the judgment in good faith.
They don't have a choice.
We are going to review the decision.
There's nothing.
What do they mean by that?
There's nothing to review.
So there was going to be a meeting last night.
Yeah, it's okay. They should go into their meetings and meet. It's okay. It's fine. That pronouncement has been made. The only thing that could reverse it is if the National Assembly, amends the law all over again. So the legislative arm of government has the power, to do that. If that does not happen, and I'm not even seeing that anytime soon, then you can review so that you know how to go about these things.
All right, then. We're still on the talks of the federal government. The Supreme Court is saying, and now it's about time local government have financial autonomy. That has been said at the Supreme Court yesterday. We're still on that. And we were back from paying paying bills right now. We'll go straight into the angle of local government. These people, are they actually ready? Because quite a lot of them, it's been said that, okay, Mr. Governor is here for us. We follow his lead. It's been there like that. Yeah, so when we're back now, we'll go into that. We'll delve into that and discuss it. We'll be back.
88.7 FM. Ilé ìtajà fóònù kan bẹ́ẹ̀ bàdàn iShow Gadget ní jẹ́. ọmọ tó ń sọtán tọrọ bá di káta ojúlówó àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìpè ìfọ́nìbàárà ẹni láì ní màkàrúrù kankan nú. àwọn tó ti já sí tẹ́lẹ̀ oníbòmíì tí wọ́n ti ra ẹ̀rọ fóònù ojú iShow Gadget lọ. ṣé ojúlówó fóònù tí wọ́n ń tà ní kásọ ni àbítẹ̀rítọ̀ yàyà táwọn òṣìṣẹ́ wọn fi ń dóníbàárà lóhùn. tó ń tàwọn ẹ̀bùn àmúrelé lẹ́yìn tó bá ra fóònù tán. pẹ̀lú èrè dískáǹtì rẹpẹtẹ lórí ọjà tó bá rà tó ń tàǹfààní ìsan díẹ̀díẹ̀ tí ò lẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́. iShow Gadget káàkiri ilé ìtajà wọn ló ti lè rí àwọn fóònù tó bá gbà mu. bíi Samsung, iPhone, Tecno, Itel, Infinix, Oppo pẹ̀lú phone accessories lówó tí ò gun pa. àǹtí bọ̀dá sìstá bàbá màmá ó yá wá lọ rè é mú fóònù tìrẹ ní iShow Gadget. ó wà lẹ́yìn Lagos Ìkòròdú garage Àbáyọ̀mí road Ìbàdàn. iShow Gadget tún wà ní Ọmọlá plaza Bàbá Onílù bus stop Ìwó road Ìbàdàn. ẹ̀lú wọn 07068989929. iShow Gadget nìkan ló ti lè ra fóònù tó bá gbà mu pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí aláboyún ó ṣe pàtàkì kí n tọ́jú ara mi kí n sì wà ní ìlera pípé.
kí ìwọ àtoyún inú ẹ lè wà ní ìlera tó péye máa lo oògùn ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó ní áyọ̀nù nínú àti
àti folic acid lójoojúmọ́ lákòókò tó bá lóyún. Eléyìí ń dènà àìtó ẹ̀jẹ̀ nínú oyún yóò sì jẹ́ kó yín wà lálàáfíà. Fún ìlera pípé, ẹ máa yọjú sí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ elétò ìlera yín fún ìtọ́jú oyún nígbà tó yẹ.
Ìkéde wá láti àkànṣiṣẹ́ ARIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Ṣiṣẹ́ tàbí kúmúra iléeṣẹ́ Algaza.
Bọ́dún ṣe ń gorí ọdún là ń dúpẹ́ ní iṣẹ́ alálàájì Algaza Travels and Tours. Alhamdulilayi kẹsíra. Ọpẹ́ olórí àdáàdá tó. Fọ́ba tó tún fi ṣe àjọ̀dún yìí tán wálé. Iṣẹ́ hajj ti wá yàtọ̀ sí ti tẹ́lẹ̀. Ó kò sùn méjì tá a lọ ṣiṣẹ́ hajj níjọba alẹ́ Saudi ti fẹ́ kéyìn ní fífẹ̀ lọ́wọ́. Ó ti mọ ibi tí ó gbé. Kí gbogbo ètò sì ti tò. Fún gbogbo àwa tá ń jẹ́ ẹ̀ràn kan láti ṣe hajj táwọn wò náà kan ìtọ́dún 2025. Ẹ̀yin náà tètè tara ṣàṣà kẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ bọ̀ sí ní iṣẹ́ alálàájì Algaza Travels and Tours. Èèyàn dọ́tà àkọ́kọ́ 50 tó bá wá sílé iṣẹ́ alálàájì Algaza Travels and Tours láti forúkọ sílẹ̀ fúnṣẹ́ àjọ̀dún 2025. Owó wa dín sí àwọn yòókù. Ṣètọ́jú àwọn èèyàn wa ní ká sọ ni. Àbílẹ̀ tí ń gbé ní Mẹ̀dínà àti Mẹ́kà tí ò jìnnà rárá síbi tẹ́ ti ṣiṣẹ́. Owó wa ló kéré jù. A wà nílé gbàgàdàgbàgàdà tó wà lórí títì tá a pè ní Algaza building lákọ̀ọ́kà bus stop nítòsí ọlọ́ọ̀gbọ́n bus stop Old Ife road nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn 07032128882 07032128882.
Bàbá mi ní ìpín ìdókòwò ní ilé ìfowópamọ́ Fidelity.
Ìyá mi ní mílíọ̀nù kan ìdókòwò Fidelity.
Wo bàbá mi ní mílíọ̀nù méjì ìdókòwò Fidelity.
Kódà ìyá mi ní ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀ta mílíọ̀nù ìdókòwò Fidelity.
Ṣé o tún wá rí i? Bàbá mi ní àìmọye ìdókòwò Fidelity tí kò lóǹkà.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí bàbá àti ìyá àwọn ọmọ wọ̀nyí, ẹ̀yin náà lè darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn tó bá fẹ́ ní ìpín ìdókòwò ní ilé ìfowópamọ́ Fidelity tí ó ń lọ lọ́wọ́ báyìí. Ilé ìfowópamọ́ Fidelity gbé ìpín ìdókòwò bílíọ̀nù 10 fún gbogbo ará ìlú ní náírà 9 àti kọ́bọ̀ 75. Àwọn tí wọ́n darapọ̀ mọ́ wa tẹ́lẹ̀ tún ní àǹfààní láti ní ìpín ìdókòwò bílíọ̀nù 3 àti 2 mílíọ̀nù ní náírà 9 àti kọ́bọ̀ 25. Ìpín ìdókòwò yóò dópin ní ọjọ́ 29 oṣù kejì ọdún 2024. Ké sí stock broker rẹ lónìí kí o bá lè jẹ àǹfààní yìí.
We are Fidelity. We keep our word. Akitibo 88.7.
All right, we are back, and this is still the dailies. In case you're just joining us, you can go straight to our Facebook page where you can also watch us live. Yes, we were talking about local government financial autonomy, not total autonomy, the financial autonomy, which is quite a big one on right there. Right now we have this news coming from Mr. Ambali Olatunji. That is the national president for National Union of Local Government Employees in Norge, saying that over 50% of Nigeria's problems will be addressed following the local government autonomy ruling by the Supreme Court. Taking it from there and then,
no, let's just straighten out ourselves.
He said that 50%.
I don't believe that. I think we'll be able to address some problems.
Some,
yes, some of the problems, coming from the local governments will be addressed. There will be, depending on how we handle it, there will be an increased seriousness about local government affairs because the money is there now. So people around the local governments are going to take their representatives more seriously.
Exactly.
And so the competition is going to be keen. Election will become more serious. The obas, the baales and chiefs, people who are prominent at the local government levels will want the best of their people to man those offices now. It's not that because somebody is tough, somebody will now say go and be local government chairman because the grassroots, we know what we call grassroots. And so I think there will be lots of improvement, yes, no doubt, but 50% no. The reason is you still need a structure to get 50% of our problems solved like that. And, if, for instance, we complement this kind of, development, if we complement it with state police, do you understand? State police could even lead us to, while we're at it, we could do the local government, officers, we can do that. As is done in places like the United States. They have sheriffs at the counties in the United States. They have local government, and the counties are the local governments. They have sheriffs, which are the local government policemen. And they have state police. They have federal police. So some of these things would, quickly get us there. If you had state police to complement local government financial autonomy, you'll see that farming would start in earnest, because state police will protect the farms from all these criminals. And then things might start turning around. I even read yesterday that, baskets of tomatoes crashed at my 12 market. We are not talking about that.
Wow.
Crashed heavy crashes. I want to go and find out again.
In the market?
Yes, the impact in Ibadan. I want to find out because, some of these things, sometimes we talk about them on air and we don't touch ground. We have to touch base. They are talking about over 140-something thousand naira crashing to like 18,000 and so on.
Wow.
Yes, 40-something thousand crashing to like 6,000 per basket. So I'm wondering, maybe it's the rains, and our own are now coming out, and people are going for the cheaper ones. And you know that tomatoes, these groceries are somewhat perishable.
Exactly.
So you can't really play a long game with them. So I guess that's what's going on.
All right, then. Let us talk about the mental preparedness of this local government chairman.
It's not even about mental preparedness. Okay. They're absolutely unprepared for this.
I mean,
if you have been paid like somebody was paying you salaries
before
for many years, it's difficult to just switch to that of man in charge,
having control
immediately. So I think we have to cut some slack for both, the state governments and the people who are there right now. So there has to be a transition period. That's what I've been thinking about yesterday. There must be a transition period so that the people who are there now will be eased out. At the end of their different tenures, don't forget, there's no uniform. There's no uniformity all over the country. 774 units, right?
Yes.
And it depends on when the governor says there will be an election.
It depends. And if he says there is no election, there's nothing you can do about it.
That is the extent of the madness that we have been, we have been dealing with. So there has to be a transition period where we would ease out and
so
maybe when we return.
The new one's coming in, and then we know we are serious with business. A second.
It's 7 a.m. on Agidigbo 88.7 FM.
All right.
So there must be a transition period. And it's important what we do. How we even design the transition period is very important. And I'm thinking that the National Assembly has to make a move, seriously, make a fast move so that the law will be in place which will empower INEC to conduct local government elections.
And I think someone mentioned it.
Yes, it has to be soon. All this one that the Senate President is going in different directions. This is the job of the National Assembly people.
Okay.
Aline Dume should forget about accessing the president. This is his job. Let them put a law in place so that INEC will now be empowered, because INEC is absolutely not empowered. And right now, the way the CX are constituted, it's just an appendage of the governor's office.
They can't handle it.
They can't. Not because the people there cannot, but the empowerment by law is not there. They are the mercy of the state government. So
they have to do what they want.
You cannot, begin to bite the fingers feeding you.
All right, then. So that is to say, now that we know the local government and chairmen in your various constituencies, they now have the power over the money coming into your local government.
Yes.
And how to spend it. And
the truth is, we now have to begin to look at how the local governments are constituted, even within this period. They have their own assembly. They have lawmakers.
Sure.
They have all those things in place. And they've not been largely functioning. What would they function?
How do they even function?
Because they just receive instructions and they go carry out the instructions, and then they chop life when the wind falls. So I don't. One thing I will have them know in this period is, as the money comes in, be very, very careful as chairman and whatever else you are, because you don't have immunity. The president and the vice president, they have immunity.
Okay, you can say let them come out of office.
The governor and the deputy governor, they have immunity. You can go from that chairman's seat to jail directly. So there is nothing, covering you. So if you are happy now that the money is coming to you and so on, okay, I'm happy for you too. But
they should be cautious.
You need to be really, really careful because you can get, jail time in a jiffy. There is nothing stopping you from going to jail. The only thing stopping you from going to jail is integrity and open accountability and all that. So, and that's the beauty of this thing called local government in this place. So we can at least begin to push probity at the local government level.
That will even make it more serious.
It's so unfortunate that we are even giving the governors and the president this much, cladding, ironclad. I think that, when it comes to financial issues, they should not have any kind of autonomy. But they should have the kind of autonomy, that protects them from, immunity that protects them from people who will just be troubling, everyday operation of government, taking them to court unnecessarily and so on.
Because we know Nigerians, we're going to abuse it.
A body like the EFCC, like the ICPC, shouldn't have to wait if they have a clear case that this person, stole money. That person should be able to get court judgment and go to jail.
Not just ministers.
Everybody. Everybody should be open to that. You see, this is the problem. We are so vulnerable to them. And we are also vulnerable to the process. But they are protected. They are not vulnerable to us, not by law, not by votes, because they also know how to get there without our votes. So it's really a big problem when you look at why they don't have a lot of respect, for people. In any case, talking about respect, Governor Dapo Abiodun quickly came out yesterday to defend himself over, roads, rehabilitation and construction in Ogun State. Why? Portable returned from the USA and he was shouting on the top of his voice. His Range Rover got stuck.
He got stuck. And then he made a video quickly.
And then the governor appeared. So I'm wondering if we will not all start copying the portable model now, if we could,
so that they can listen to us.
Because it's amazing that a lot of people have talked about those roads, and it didn't.
So as if they didn't see anything.
Seize the attention of the governor.
But portable did.
Highly effective.
All right then. Okay, so let us. I think we've done justice to the local government issues. Now we are looking forward to how they are going to handle these, and maybe it's about time we started holding them accountable. My local government chairman, sir, I know you have our money. How is it going to be? What are you doing? You're not doing this.
We won't know from what is coming into the. So the budget must be, read, written and read.
So we know how much is
you
with
have
you.
to present the budget. We have to, so these things should have been happening a long time ago. But the 20-something% has been going to the states and they have been pretending that that's what the constitution envisaged.
All right. Ibori says granting financial autonomy to local government is a setback on principles of federalism.
I believe that he should just sit out this conversation. And I'm serious, not because of anything, but because he was governor for 8 years. He was governor for 8 years. And then he went on to, he was indicted, he was charged, he was found guilty about these things. And we are talking about financial system of the local government here. I don't think he should be part of the conversation, seriously.
All right, then. There is another one that says, and now governors are barred from dissolving local government. You can't just come and say, you're out of office.
Beautiful.
You're out of office.
You see, these people don't know how many lives they affect like that. As simply as that. You just say, okay, I have sacked all of you. Go home.
Now you go there.
You go there and sit down there. if that's how life should run, how you run millions of human lives, then why did you run through all that election process before you became governor? Why don't you weigh the two? Well, whether you rigged yourself into the governor's office or not does not even matter. But look at the entire process. Very, very rigorous. I know very costly and everything. So why would you now look at millions of human lives on the left side and say, I've sacked all of you running their lives, and I'm now bringing some people there. Oh yeah, replace them.
You sit down there.
How much respect do you have for lives? Even if these are rural lives, what kind of condemnation do you have over rural lives?
May I say it's power?
That's where we all came from now. That rurality is where we all came from. Before you started building all this concrete jungle. It's sad. But I think this is a huge one. And but it's just going to be as huge as we treat it, because it has to be treated.
All right, then. We're just looking forward to what is going to happen now. That they have the autonomy. So we look forward to that, really. Yesterday, we had a man slumming outside the courtroom after they said, Mr. Maman, please, we need to take you to Kuje now. That's where you'll be. Till we'll come back to talk about your bill.
It goes in two directions. The one that most Nigerians will easily think is lying. Lying. He doesn't want to go back to prison.
This is not the first time we're seeing this.
He wants to go to the hospital and then
from there go home. Or
no. There are different types of hospitals. And there are some executive hospitals where, it will just, be so luxurious. It will be like you're in a, 5-star hotel room. Things happen like that in this country. It's part of our system, very sordid, very, very sordid. But we do those things where we give these special detainees, we give them special treatments. So we have that. Even in the cell, if you have a lot of money, you're treated differently.
Even in the cell.
Yeah, the cells.
Maestro, please, a second. There's this question, and I would like us to just attach it to the local government thing we're talking about. This person says, what will be the fate of FCDA not recognized by federal government?
LCDA,
LCDA, well, you were FCDA.
Okay.
LCD.
All right. So, you see, it doesn't matter. The LCDAs should exist in my mind.
Okay.
Because all LCDAs emanated from one local government or the other, one authentic local government or the other. So, and there could be an internal arrangement, inside certain local governments where certain LCDAs emanated from. So you just, take care of that. Maybe there will be some kind of downgrading, because the LCDAs, they came about with an intention. There was an intent, and I believe it still exists. Interestingly, it's this president who initiated, he is the originator of LCDAs.
He was the one that did it first in Lagos.
So you know how powerful the political equations of this country are. He's not been able to get LCDAs in Lagos to become full-blown local governments.
Till now.
Even as president, he still could not do it. And I don't think he's going to be able to do it forever.
Wow.
Because it's going to open the kind of floodgate that nobody could cope with. And that's why I'm so skeptical when I hear stories about the National Assembly moving in the direction of creating more states. They can't do it. You can't do it. It's only the military. All it takes is an announcement of the military head of state.
And it's done.
And that's all. And that's, one of the reasons why we came to this very terrible point we are in. Because you could do a lot of things with fiat without necessarily processing those things, without, making it so inclusive at the planning stages. So you just feel it's good. Or some, professor friend of yours wrote you a thesis on it and how beautiful it's going to be. So that's what Senator Adams Oshiomhole was talking about yesterday. In this country, we had textile mills all over the place. We had more than 4.
I said before.
Yes, textile mills everywhere. And we were planting, we were wearing our own thing. But today, we no longer have all the textile mills, they've been bought over by, evangelists and so on. And we now take in from India, we take in from all over the world. And that's one of the ways we destroy the economy of this place. Because they keep talking about free market economy. In this free market economy, the giants of the world, they are the ones who could do whatever they like. And you always lose in a competition with them. Yet, in that free market economy, which flows from globalization, you cannot protect what's yours. There was a time in this country we said, we are not taking in textile materials from outside. We have enough here. We will grow this industry. And everybody was, do you know that they ran into hundreds of thousands of workers in the textile mills? And all those jobs, we lost them when we signed into free market economy. And I don't understand how we could collectively own something and then somebody will convince you to give it to a few of us and say it's the best model in the world.
And you did. You went
These
ahead.
are the things that IMF and World Bank and all these advisors all over, this is what they do. But they are powerful because it's part of a bigger program. And they ensure that most of the people, if not all of the people who become the leaders of this place, are approved by them. I've told you that story before.
And all right, sitting in between and letting you know.
Much more.
We are in charge here.
Even many. It's clear.
All right, then. Let us go back to my man collapsing outside the courtroom.
So the other part is truly sick. So we can't take chances.
Exactly.
It might be truly ill, so we have to be careful.
We had someone die. Was it last week or 2 weeks
when
ago?
We are, yes. When we are, when we want to raise a trial, run the process, it does not mean we want to run people to their graveyards. A person who's charged will face, the crucibles of justice. Not that we should run them to their graveyards.
All right, then. Let's go pay some bills now. While we're back, we'll take it down. We'll take the conversation down to citizens, because there is a news here saying that a couple arrested for allegedly trying to sell their 2-year-old baby to fund Japa. Yes. After which we are going to also talk about the situation that went on X, that we formerly known as Twitter, for over a couple of days now. We've had a conversation. I mean, it's something that's been going on there for a very long time, but a drastic step was taken this week, and then it made things, maybe let me say, worse. So we're going to come down and talk about that. So talking about Tony Abraham and also what he did to, I think, Big Ayo. That's his Twitter, his X handle. We'll be back.
88.7 FM.
My country people, mama, papa and pikin, make una listen o. Cholera full town o, but make you no fear. Cholera na disease wey you fit prevent with better hygiene practice for your home. Just dey disinfect your floors, clothes and every corner for your yard with hypo bleach. And no forget to dey clean your toilets with hypo toilet cleaner. This way, you go protect your family and stop the spread of cholera.
My baby is 6 months old.
Oh my! 6 months old? Wow!
Now your baby needs more than breast milk. It's time to introduce mashed meals. In addition to breast milk, begin to give your baby mashed meals that contain at least one item from each of these 5 food groups: eggs, fish or meat, fruits and vegetables, oils, beans, groundnuts, soya or millet, rice, potato, maize or yam. From 6 months. In addition to breast milk, your baby needs this combination of food types to grow healthy. This message is from the Anrin Project or your State Ministry of Health.
Ó yá gbà ọmọ mi ọ̀wọ́n.
Mami, fi mí lékì sí ni.
Kò di dandan ìwọ tó ọ̀wọ̀n náà. báwo lè ṣe ṣe. ǹjẹ́ mílìkì náà péye. ní gidi gan. ṣé ọ̀rọ̀ wàrà náà ṣòtò. bẹ́ẹ̀ni. Milo 3 in 1 milky and creamy nìyẹn o. mílìkì náà péye. mi ò nílò láti ṣàfikún mílìkì sí i.
mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀ màámi.
fún àwọn ọmọ rẹ ní Milo 3 in 1 milky àti creamy tuntun. mílìkì náà péye. ó kún fún calcium láti ran àwọn ọmọ rẹ lọ́wọ́ láti yege lójoojúmọ́. Milo, agbára láti tẹ̀síwájú.
Milo.
ọmọ mi ti pọ̀ṣù mẹ́fà ẹ bá mi dúpẹ́. oṣù mẹ́fà ẹ bá mi dúpẹ́.
ó ti yẹ pọ̀ṣù mẹ́fà nìyẹn. ọmọ máa ń pé dàgbà o. báyìí o ọmọ rẹ ti wá nílò ju omi ọyàn nìkan lọ o. àkókò ti tó láti máa fún un ní oúnjẹ fífọ́ ní àfikún sí ọyàn. rí i dájú pé àwọn oúnjẹ ọmọ rẹ ní ó kéré tán ọ̀kan lára àwọn oúnjẹ àfọ́pọ̀ márùn-ún wọ̀nyí: ẹyin, ẹja tàbí ẹran, èso àti ewébẹ̀, epo tàbí òróró, ẹ̀wà, ẹ̀pà tàbí sóyà, ìrẹsì, ọ̀dùnkún, àgbàdo tàbí iṣu. ọmọ rẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti oṣù mẹ́fà nílò omi ọyàn àtàwọn oúnjẹ wọ̀nyí fún ìdàgbàsókè àti ìlera. máa fún wọn lọ́yàn títí yóò fi pé ọmọ ọdún méjì àti jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ.
ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣe ARIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Àtótó arére o gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọkùnrin tó ń tiraka láti dakọni ọkùnrin mẹ́ta nínú ilé tàbí níbikíbi lótìtọ́ ni pé ọkùnrin ogun kan ò sí tí ò bá lè ṣèṣe akọni lọ́dọ̀ olólùfẹ́ ó débẹ̀ herbal mixture ló nílò kó mú dọ́yà kan ṣe gbòógì tá a gbé jáde pẹ̀lú ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ewé àti ìwà àbáláyé táwọn bàbá wa fi ń gbéra sọ pitú rẹpẹtẹ níjọ́ àná ó débẹ̀ herbal mixture ti gbàgbóró kan gbogbo ayé ló ti ń kó ní wìtìwìtì wọn náà mú kan lónìí kó gbẹlura kára ó le koko bí ọ̀tá wàá sì múnádóko débẹ̀ tàtẹ̀ kanlẹ̀ láti jẹ́ alágbàtà kẹ̀sì kó ní wìtìwìtì ẹ máa pe 091-6620-6959 tàbí 080-7051-7024 ó débẹ̀ herbal mixture ó máa gbé ẹ débẹ̀.
Akidibo 88.7.
All right, you're welcome back. Moving on from our leaders. Yes, we've been talking about our leaders and what the effect is on citizens. Right now, let's come down to our own level. Because right now, a 28-year-old man, simply called Okay, and his wife Chineye. Okay, yeah, that should be okay or something. And Chineye, 22, have been arrested by the police in Lagos for allegedly attempting to sell off their 2-year-old baby. According to the police, the couple had wanted to use the proceeds from the sale of the baby to relocate to Canada, where they hope to get a better life. A 2-year-old baby. 2 years plus 9 months. I'll be calculating it like that.
In my experience, people have been doing this terrible thing for a very long time.
Wow.
Long into history. You know, selling their loved ones to get by. Because the truth about this humanity is that there's always a harsh period, you know, across where you have some people who are comfortable, some people are not. The people who are comfortable always far, outnumber. The people who are uncomfortable far outnumber the people who are comfortable. It's the nature of this humanity. You know, power, comfort, resources always skewed in favor of very few people. So this leads to certain terrible things, like human trafficking, for instance, like people selling body parts, like people going into rituals, whether it has that kind of efficacy or not. I don't know how many human beings Dangote would have needed to have the kind of money that he has. So, some of these things they've been going on for a very long time. And I think what we should, be asking ourselves is, to everyone we discover, how many did we fail to discover? And that's very important. So that it boils down to law enforcement first. In societies, this kind of stuff must be, prevented. And if they are not prevented, they should be severely punished by the law. And then we look at the home front. That's very critical because we are going to mostly become what we are formed to become from the homes. Now, if you are formed to become that kind of person who could sell a baby, you will become that. Because that's how you're formed. That's how you grew. So nothing could stop that from happening, except the grace of God. So we have to look at the home very well in that regard. We are talking about people even selling, right? What about those who will get pregnant for 9 months, give birth, and then place it somewhere at the refuse dump?
I mean, we get them almost every week.
Those ones are not even selling. They are dumping.
We have people coming to drop adult kids. I mean, talking about, let's say, kids and their teens. And say, Uriyomi, you can have them.
Yes. And, the good part of it is that people like, Alhaji Uriyomi Hamzat, they've been doing this thing for a long time. Even without people dumping them, long before he even became what he has become. And that's one of the good things about him. He's been doing it for a long time. Though, sometimes he gets in trouble. but it has not, stopped him from going ahead with his good works. So that's good.
All right. From this couple, according to them, they said they blame the current hardship in the country, saying they have nothing to feed. According to them, in court, it was a difficult decision, but we had no choice but to sell our baby. We felt it would be better to sell him to someone who can take care of him than to allow him die of hunger.
They should go to jail for human. They should go to jail for human trafficking. That's it. They should face. Let me say, they should face the court.
They were even bold enough to go to a hospital to say this, to declare their intention. I think it was the hospital that tipped off the police saying this is what is happening. They went there to say, see, we have a 2-year-old baby to sell.
It does not make sense. If they really wanted to give the baby to, foster parents who would take better care of the baby, there's a process. It's not sale.
It is not sale.
So
for them to move forward.
That's how God, is a powerful mystery. People who need babies, who will take care of babies with their lives, they don't have. Look at these ones who have, and this is what they are doing. It's unfortunate.
All right, then let us move on to the street of X because it's not really street of Twitter. Because I don't know. It seems that people have not moved on from the election, the last election we had in this country, the presidential election. I know that's a long conversation on your side as well.
It's a long one.
It is a long one.
The truth, however, is people don't move on. People don't move on from pains as easily as that. And I see a lot of people saying, you should have moved on. We have to, put it within context. Human beings don't move on from pains like that. It's impossible for us to get back at whatever gives us pain, to get back at it, to keep working at getting back at it for as long as we could not delete it. And so I understand that people don't move on like that, but within context. So if we have a radio program running and you keep coming back from that angle, you are, a scanty few, maybe like 4 or 5 of you, disturbing the flow of what we are doing with millions of people. So we have to be very firm with that and take care of business there. In that same vein, if you have an actor like Abraham, doing so well, and she made a choice.
It's a political right.
That is the thing about elections. It's about choices. So she made a choice, and you made another choice, and so her choice prevailed. And then the normal bitterness.
I think the highlight of the problem was she coming to tweet saying, the president, Tinubu, told her some plans that he has in place for Nigerians. So I think the genesis of this whole problem was them just waking up one day to say, come, what are the plans he told you? We are not seeing anything.
Don't believe that. Don't believe that. What about people who didn't do that?
There are other people too that supported him.
These guys are just so vindictive and mean-spirited. And this is how they approach everything they approach. So you find a bunch of them doing this thing to the extent of saying you would do something to her child. And that's where she decided to report to the police. She did not pay, thugs to go and beat people up.
No.
She did not take it upon herself to go and put people in some condition, very vice, grips. But she reported to the police. And you know what? The police handled it the way they wanted to handle it.
Yeah.
You now return to her again to say, you are using elite power. That's dumb.
Started reporting.
And when they are doing this kind of stuff, they don't care if they sound dumb or idiotic. They simply go ahead and do it anyway because it's what gives them joy. But I think, people like Toyin, who's doing a very fantastic job. She's a frontliner, in Nollywood today. She's earning serious money. And some of these guys are broke asses. They even feel bad that a woman like that is making that much money. They are chauvinists, most of them. So all manner of bitterness, flying like that towards this woman. And I think she should grow a little bit of thick skin. This is Nigeria. I
mean, from my point of view, I think she actually do have a thick skin because the dragging has been coming for a very long time. It was until they mentioned her kid and husband.
They've been dragging everybody for... Look, okay, I'm returning there. My Twitter handle, and my Telegram, I had to just bounce people off.
Wow.
Because they were no longer making sense other than to be expressing their pains, And life has to move on. I don't measure my own life, with 4 years of politicians getting better. And mine, I have to look after mine. So the problem, though, is this is the nature, the definition of the social media in this place. Unfortunately, we have been saying government should not come in. Don't touch it. Don't regulate it and so
social media. We have other countries.
But people like this are going to force the hand of government eventually to regulate it. And I don't care. If anybody goes to jail for threatening another person's child, you can go from there to jail very easily. And that will be very good. Because, people you cannot meet on the road and tell them to stop are the ones you are meeting on this internet road. And you are talking anyhow, you are just blabbing. And go and look at, what they write. Many of them couldn't even get their spellings right. They can't string 2 sentences together, but they can abuse Wole Soyinka till kingdom come. They can go after Toyin Abraham. Some of them are broke asses. Toyin is solvent. Very, very solvent. So that bitterness against success is also there. Because they look at it like, oh, you are part of my problem.
But you're doing fine.
You are doing fine. You are part of my problem because you supported this person. But that's not the truth. And like I told you from the beginning, people don't get away from these things. You simply have to put it in perspective. Otherwise, you lose a lot. If you supported Obi, and I decided to support, Toyin Abraham decided to support Asiwaju, and then after the election, you have to ensure that your bitterness will not drive your friends from you. That in your workplace, you have to behave very well so that you don't lose your customers and so on. But these people take their bitterness everywhere except where they are making money. So when you go to where they are making money, they are their best behavior. But when they leave those places and are light on the social media, they become monsters. So, and you have to do something about monsters.
I think we have one of the ex-warriors here again. And today, we say, nobody's jealous of Toyin. She should just tell us what Tinubu discussed with her. And that has been the tweet.
Why is that your business?
That has been the tweet.
You know that's even silly. Why is that your business? That she had a conversation with Tinubu and then she's gone back to her life.
She tweeted it and said, okay, here are some plans.
Right now, why are they not talking to Olaya Igwe? Olaya Igwe went naked by the seaside. They
wow.
Toyin is a feminine target. They can do their macho thing there. The macho they cannot do in real life. They can do it on the social media to her. And she has enough muscles to even deal with them. But she doesn't. But now that you went after her child, like any mother will become ferocious.
Exactly.
And I think I give her 101% for that. There are no apologies if police picks you. If they didn't treat you right, go to court.
Exactly.
It's police treating you. It's not Toyin Abraham police station.
And so people are saying it's because you have money. That's why you picked them up.
No.
There are other people that tweeted.
So stop doing bad thing if you know you don't want to be picked up. Stop being an idiot on the social media.
All right, then. It's about time we open the phone lines for people to come in and join the conversation, of course. The phone lines to call 07041001887.
Somebody knew that you knew the kind of home you came from. There's nothing there.
Exactly.
And then you are behaving like a King Kong on the social media.
Some were even saying that they picked up his mom and that is wrong. And they are saying, no, we got them.
They didn't pick. The mother said she will not leave the place. You know that's how it will go. Why did you go that far? It's just like you, because you can walk around into government office.
Funny enough, that thing, that the whole conversation that happened, where they start just out of the blues, just come and say, Mrs. Toyin, come and talk. It was in the middle of the night.
And then you have some very funny Nollywood and skit makers and all these people tweeting trash, about an otherwise very straightforward thing, All
right, then. We have to open the phone lines now, but before then, let us listen to this so that it will guide us in our conversation.
Thank you for your attention. It's been lovely to have you keeping it locked on Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Now is the time to join in the conversation, to have the world hear your voice, because we are the people's voice. Meanwhile, while you contribute to this program, kindly note that in accordance with broadcasting ethics, you are requested to keep your contributions modest, truthful, concise, and not offensive, inflammatory, or with tendencies to cause discomfort to anyone. Thank you. Now, let the conversation begin.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Johnson Arawode. I'm calling from Ododo area in Ibadan.
All right, sir, your contribution.
Good morning, Maestro, and the lady there.
Good morning.
Yes, yesterday's Supreme Court judgment is a landmark judgment, and it's a liberation for the democratic rule in Nigeria. In fact, it's been long awaited, and I want to praise the federal government for doing this. It's a very good one. But we have a problem, Maestro. What you ask me? The problem will now be the local government levels now. We have to have a separate negotiation with their salary, with their workers. So we are building more democratic structure. I praise the federal government. The structure of this country has been collapsed. The financial has collapsed. For actually to now structure this thing, I think it's a very good development. We need to wait. I thank the Supreme Court and the people in charge. Our governors, who are the emperors, should now be aware that it's no more bed of roses for mismanagement of federal government funds.
All right.
Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution. Balikizo Nodiro on the Facebook page says opposing local government autonomy means you don't have Nigeria's best interest at heart. The wrongdoings of these governors will be brought to light. Now we can be confident that development will start from the grassroots. It is also notable that these chairmen do not have immunity from prosecution while in office. Yes, we discussed that. This one, Oluwatoyin Akpeke says, please, will they open markets today because of the coronation? I'm so sorry, I do not have the details to that. Mustafa Abdulatif saying, on the smiling of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the non-smiling of the Labour leaders after the end of the Aso Rock minimum wage meeting, I think they didn't, in quote, cut bread this time around. Let the season film continue.
I don't think so.
They didn't break bread.
There's another probability, which is that maybe
for us to see.
We have criticized them too much for smiling in every direction, so they decided not to smile this time.
All right. Hello, good morning. Hello. All right. So look, Adeyemi says the verdict of the Supreme Court granting full autonomy. Is it full autonomy? It's financial autonomy.
All right. So look, Adeyemi.
Hello. Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is Speaker. I'm calling from outside of Nigeria, though.
You're welcome, sir.
I'm from Finland, anyway. Yeah, I just wanted to I think I've called before. I want to address what Mr. Dotun said because I said he should mention his name every time, but he didn't. I think that is, for me, I see a little bit of bias there. In the
on what topic?
On the cloning stage. On the cloning stage. I feel Nigeria has been shameless because any small thing, Nigerians will go and begin to attack the person, reporting to the companies, reporting to Netflix and all these things. But my own point is that it's not just one side that does it. It's both sides. Whether the Baptists, the obedience, or the PDP people, they are all doing these things. How the obedient are louder. And again,
because they are youth.
We were not here in 2014. Because they are youth, exactly. But we were here in 2014. It's just a seed that is bearing fruit. APC, even though they were not so loud in 2014, but they were very loud in the way they were attacking the PDP government there. They were even carrying caskets of the president. They are attacking Godwin Okonjo-Iweala and so many things. Now, a seed has been sown and the fruit is germinating in different forms. And I can tell you in the next 4 years or 3 years to come, it will even be worse because a seed has been sown. So I feel that we should balance it. Obedience are doing bad, and not all obedience, just some set of obedience that are doing it. But also in the Baptist camp, there are also some people there that call themselves Yoruba Ronu or Yoruba Ronu and are also doing all these things.
Well, you've really gone overboard.
Yes, you
have been on that fringe of going overboard all along, and then you plunged and got over it. You know, you have to be decent. And I think you are one of them anyway. That's why eventually you insulted an entire race. You know, how does that make you an intelligent person? If you're talking about balancing, and then you drove yourself to the point of insulting an entire Yoruba race. You know, that's absolutely unintelligent.
Yes, I'm sorry. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have. I mean, it was even way past your 1 minute, and we decided to let you go, and you say I had to do that. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Mr. Timileni. I'm calling from New Ife Road.
All right, sir. Your contribution.
First and foremost, I also commend the analyst there, and I also want to contribute on the issue of local government autonomy. My plan is that all the corruption that is going on in the country and every places will not affect the work of the local government since they have granted the financial autonomy now. Because I could vividly reconnect. I'm a child of a primary school teacher then. I know what we suffer and what the teachers pass through in the hand of the local government people of our lack of their payments. I think this time around they will get it right. And second one on the issue of Tony Abraham or not of these things, it is high time for Nigeria to get it very right. You want to support somebody, you know him very well, and after supporting him, you must make sure that you give advice out. You must make sure that you counsel, so that people will not be putting unnecessary suffering because of your own personal and relationship with the person. God bless Nigeria.
That's also very wrong, and we have to set it straight too. It is wrong, clearly, because millions of people will make choices during elections.
Exactly.
You cannot begin to intimidate people.
It is your political
that we are going to come after you afterwards when you choose. That is wrong. That is undemocratic. And you cannot lay the responsibilities of failure or success on the people on the streets.
Or maybe just one person. I mean, it was your vote against theirs.
That does not make any sense at all.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Olalere Jelly from Bodija.
All right.
But not Ward 5.
Okay, so your
contribution. I was happy with the Supreme Court judges yesterday. In fact, I sent a message to our councillor that you should prepare for us. I welcome you as Happy New Year. That we are coming to them to demand for what they're supposed to do instead of relying on governors to do it for them. So I want citizens to be aware that it's now time for us to demand for our councillor and chairman what they're supposed to do. And then concerning the Tony Abraham case, I believe that people should be aware that there is a cyber law crime of 2015. Whatever you do online, there is a punishment for it if you do bad things. So Tony Abraham should just take them up. Let some of them serve great time so that they be able to have knowledge. You can support anybody. it doesn't mean that you people will be criticizing you. So, anyone have to make his own choice. So you don't have to be attacking people because of support or someone in support or not.
All right.
They say online law only soroboshe where it's not true. You go to jail. It's not true. Online law only soroboshe where is a lie. Don't believe it because you find yourself in jail. The other part of it is if you are criticizing her for her choices, okay, we can have a decent discussion. But to now say you will do something terrible to her son, I mean, who is going? What mother? Even animals. You can't say that to an animal and expect the mother to stay cool.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Bola. I'm calling from Ido.
All right, sir. Your country.
Maestro, I'm a bit worried constitutionally. What will happen to all these SCDA since Constitution said the state governors or House of Assembly can have SCDA or whatever, which is their constitutional right.
All right.
I think you joined us midway. We've treated that.
We've treated that. All right. You can just listen to this show all over again when we're done, and you get to pick it there. Tolokwe Adeyemi says, I hope there will be strict measures put in place to checkmate the activities of local government chairmen in a bid to forestall owing workers' salaries and pensions, because the backlog of salaries being owed in Oyo State before the emergence of Governor Seyi were from this local government, and I hope the chairman too will complement the effort of the governor at the local government level so that we can have a more prosperous Oyo State.
Only serious handlers should head to local governments now. If you don't know anything to do about it and you are just a politician, you're looking for trouble. The local governments, they have to pay their own salaries now.
Exactly.
They have to take care of a lot of things now. So don't go there and think it's a bed of roses. It's a worse place than the governor's office now. A worse place to manage.
Because anything, you can go to jail from there.
So don't, you now have to be highly creative. Are you going to go into serious farming, as local government handlers? What can you do? You see, in local governments and LCDs around Lagos State, some of them are highly lucrative. I understand that there is the rent factor and everything, and tax and so on. But then some of them are really, really lucrative, looking for, money here and there. And now it's going to get better for them.
All right.
So, local government.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Kende. Calling from Europe. I would like to comment on the local government first.
All right.
Say there are still a lot of things to be tidied up. Because just when the news was mentioned, you will notice that in River State, one of the local government chairmen appointed 100 special assistants. Special assistants. So I think there needs a lot of things to still be done to tidy up that area so that we don't get the same thing we get with the governors. On Toyin State, I would say it's a shame as a country, as Nigerians, both from the obedient camp and the Baptist camp. I think both parties have been going on with this vindictive attitude. It's not just on Tony Abraham, it goes on Peter Obi and other people from the Labour Party camp also. And I would say Mr. Dotun raised an issue which I feel is also very, to me, does not apply. I call it classism. So it's people that you cannot naturally talk to. For me, I think that's not even the main thing. The main thing is that Tony was indicted, was abused. His family was abused. She made a complaint, which was the right thing. Where the problem came was when the person was detained above 48 hours, which is not according to the law. And that, I think, was what raised the issues on Twitter. It's not about whether she arrested someone.
That's not Tony's fault.
48 hours
that has not. Tony is not a policeman. The other part of this is, do you know what this guy said?
Hold on. I'm talking about the law.
Okay,
the law on arrest is not more than 48 hours, which is where the problem lies. So I don't care about what Tony did or not. Tony is not at fault, but the law should be followed.
All right.
That's my contribution.
Thank you so much, sir.
Do you know the statement he made? He said Tony collected money from Tinubu. You can't prove that.
That's quite
and then used the money to do hair transplant for her husband.
Exactly. I saw that.
I mean, and you want to say that and just go home and just get away with it. I don't think if anybody could do something to you back, that they won't do it. Who is just going to take that line low? Could you take it if somebody makes that kind of statement about you?
I mean, she came back. I think the second day she came out and was just in tears. And all right, let's go pay some business. When we're back, we'll do more of a reading comment on Facebook because I think we've taken more calls than comments right now. We'll be back.
88.7 FM.
ìrìn àjò lọ sílẹ̀ nínú mẹ́ta òkèrè ní jẹ́ gbogbo ẹni tó bá fẹ́ lọ wá ilé iṣẹ́ gidi tí ò ní kó wọn sí wàhálà tí ò ní dé mọ́kàtán kó wọ́n da nílẹ̀ láì bìkítà àti ṣiṣẹ́ tó bá lọ. gbogbo ẹni tó bá wọ́n ń gbìyànjú àti lọ sílẹ̀ nínú mẹ́ta fún ọmọ October sí November tó ń bọ̀ yìí. ajé ní oníyàn ilé iṣẹ́ kan Inshallah ajá Humna Service ní ká ẹ bá lọ. sísanwó owó ògúnpá ilé gbòòrò onímọ̀ká ìrọ̀rùn ló bá dé. gbogbo ẹni tó bá bá wọn lọ gbé ètò yóò sì títò láì sí wàhálà. gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ nífẹ̀ẹ́ àti bá wọn rìnrìn àjò wọn múra October sí November tó ń bọ̀ yìí. àrà ọ̀tọ̀ ni wọ́n múra yìí jẹ́ wọn pẹ̀lú àkànṣe àdúrà tí lè ṣe Inshallah ajá Humna ṣàgbékalẹ̀ rẹ̀ tí gbogbo ẹni tí wọ́n bá jọ lóòjọ́ sí kíkó lóhùn pẹ̀lú ìgbàgbọ́ pé àdúrà mi gbà. ìyẹn ni wọ́n múra gbogbo ẹni tó bá fẹ́ bá wọn lọ.
ẹ lè kàn sí wọn ní shop B3 Alaka Junction Ayégun Ọ̀lẹ́yọ̀ Road ní gáràjì Ìbàdàn tàbí ká ẹ pè sórí nọ́mbà yìí 07037417353 tàbí 07064274181. Masha Allah.
iléeṣẹ́ alálàájì rọrùn.
Big mommy, add that bokoto we go senior school, put 2 roundabout, anoint the package with that slim thick shaki and
no vex o, which teeth you wan use eat all this orishi? That your teeth will be like where motor jam truck. You know they worry you again.
That one na before. All thanks to the new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection.
That's right. The new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste gives you complete oral protection with fluoride and antibacterial zinc to keep your teeth strong, prevent tooth holes, and fight bacteria.
Please have to go buy my own new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste.
Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection for your important oral care needs. Available in a blue gel.
I am pregnant. It is important for me to take care of myself and stay healthy.
To be strong and have a healthy pregnancy, take iron and folic acid tablets every day when you're pregnant. This prevents anemia and helps maintain a healthy pregnancy. Visit your healthcare provider for regular antenatal care. This message is from the Anrin Project or your State Ministry of Health.
Fellow Nigerians, mommies, daddies, and children, please listen. It's no longer news that there's cholera outbreak, but don't worry. Cholera is highly preventable with good hygiene practice in the home. Ensure you disinfect your floors, walls, and surfaces with Hypo bleach. And always remember to care for your toilets with Hypo toilet cleaner. This way, you'll protect your family and stop the spread of cholera.
Akitibo 88.7 FM.
All right, you're welcome back. And now to Facebook. Raja Hafiz Abidemi says on the issue of minimum wages, I believe President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has expressed his mind to labor union leaders. The ball is now in their court. I think they will play it well. Concerning the judgment of the Supreme Court yesterday on local government autonomy, kudos to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for taking the bold step towards the 774 local government in Nigeria. I believe that this will address a lot of hinders in our communities. God bless Nigeria. Balikiza Nodiron, your comment on beggars around the Iwo Road, I think it will best fit this. It is noted, very well noted. But then there is this program by, I think, 3. Yes, that is Oyomotonotoni with Soul and the Commissioner for Environment. Yes, please, you can readdress it there. Adebayo Jobolauti says, yesterday's judgment by the Supreme Court is a victory to democracy, victory to the grassroots, and now this will ensure that funds meant for local government are used for intended purposes. This is the right time to be holding local government chairmen accountable for underdevelopment in their areas. I hope the implementation won't take long to be effective. Kudos to the federal government. Gradually restructuring is in place. All right, moving on to other comments. Kolakbo Oluwashi Yadragbemi says, as far as I love the Supreme Court outcome, it is not yet Uhuru. The state House of Assemblies have their own financial independence, but they are still puppet to the governors. The constitution needs to be worked on to properly delineate the powers of each tiers of government. So look at Emi says, good morning, I congratulate the new Olubado Obawola Abiola Kulenyi for ascending the throne of his forefathers. And I pray, yes, thank you so much. We also pray so. Adewumi Shegun says, on the local government judgment, high relief to the local government chairman and the citizens, as a lot of development will be done where they have trustworthy chairman that will not be enriching pockets only with the available find. The second, more people unemployed will be employed because they will be able to generate more funds by getting back all money making areas and the state government have hijacked. Then those people too should be mindful of how the council fund in order not to die in jail if the money they see are not judicially spent. The judgment is a plus and kudos to the judgment. Ogunwande Adebayo says, I salute you, are doing a good job, Wuraola and Oga MAESTRO. Thank you so much. Emafo J. Peter says, congratulations to the chairman, Algons. I know recklessness spending will resume, but they must not forget that Oyinbo that manufacture pencil is the same that manufacture eraser. They have to be serious. Once again, congratulations to the chairman of Algons. Akidibu FM, you're the best. Thank you, we know that. Oyetaya Babatunde Yusuf says, okay, I think that was the issue of the LCD erased. Adewumi Temitokwe says, applaud for federal government and local government financial autonomy. As much as I have criticized this government, I can't deny this is a confirmation that this government has some level of interest in really making this country work. Kudos. Now it's left to the citizens at the local government level. Alright? Shola Donyade says, in quotes, a concrete jungle. It's always refreshing to hear Baba MAESTRO use these phrases. Alright, moving on. John Akerele says, the chairman who rejoiced yesterday might not find their governor's favor again. But Bele governors might be using EFCC to witch hunt this chairman as they watch them spend their money in peace. Alright, Kazim Olawale says, this ugly trend is unbecoming. Selling children, jumping from somewhere to die, committing suicide. This is because of hardship caused by obnoxious policies of this government. And jailing anybody will not stop anything. The federal government should reverse bad policies instead of diversionary attempts. Alright, Tunde Idowu says, if we weren't alive during APC opposition years against GJ, you would think the obedient are classless. Alright then, your opinion. John Akrele says, governor's BP right now might be something else. The doctors should monitor them. Why? Tunde Idowu says, MAESTRO, you have been bullied on and offline. How many people have you arrested? If you can't deal with social media dragging, just be like Tinubu and stop reading social media messages. Do you think Mr. President has actually stopped? Emmy Stevens.
It has a lot of channels, so we can't even begin.
I know, right? Emmy Stevenson says, Nigeria will get better only when things are done by regions because our tribal sentiment is on the high side. And you talking about MAESTRO and how many people has he arrested? Oh, well, you haven't crossed the line, I guess. Alaji Okweyemi Musiba Oyedele says, Babaloja has announced the market. Okay, and this is a reply for someone. Babaloja has announced the market's closure for today for the coronation of Olubadon. Yes, we have a lot more comment, but I'm sorry, the studio manager is at the verge of breaking my mic down. So yes, let us all meet for the coronation of the Olubadon of Ibadan. And today, it is celebration for all of us, of course. And yes, MAESTRO, we're going right.
Sure.
All right then, let us move down to the Olubadon Palace then for the enjoyment, the merriment, and the celebration. All right then, see you on Monday on another edition of the Dailies. My name is Wuraola Yusuff, and I'm telling you, have a great weekend.